Unforgettable plays of LeBron James' career. LeBron James, one of the most talented basketball players to ever grace the hardwood. Arguably the greatest basketball player that the world has ever seen. The King is his nickname for a reason after all. So in today's video, we're going to be diving into some of the most unforgettable plays throughout the career of LeBron James. Stick around until the end of the video to watch the time that James literally jumped over a man during an NBA game. The first play that we just have to dive into is the chase down block on Andre Iguodala. This is arguably the most unforgettable play throughout his entire career for a reason, as the situation was just something out of a movie. The Cleveland Cavaliers were up against the Golden State Warriors in the 2016 NBA Finals. The Warriors started this series by winning 3 out of 4 games. That was until LeBron and Kyrie Irving stormed back into the series and won the next 2 games to force a Game 7. During the Game 7, the two teams were tied at 89, with just under 2 minutes left to play in the game. Iguodala found himself leading a fast break down the other end of the floor with Steph Curry, when he received a pass back to himself and rose up to take the game-leading layup. That was until LeBron came out of nowhere to pin it off the backboard and swing all momentum towards Cleveland, even more than it already was at this stage in the series. Plus, the commentary made it even better. Ooh, blocked by James, will live on in infamy forever. Now, that's obviously not the only play that everybody will remember forever, as James dismantled the Minnesota Timberwolves in just a matter of moments. The Cavaliers were locked in a tie game with the Wolves in overtime. It was a tremendously high-scoring game with little defense. Yet, LeBron came alive when it mattered most. Jimmy Butler attempted a game-winning layup with 3 seconds left in overtime, but got it swatted away from him by James out of nowhere. Fast forward to the next part of the play, James received an inbounds pass with 1 second on the clock. He caught it, spun around off Butler, and drilled a one-legged fadeaway at the buzzer to ice the game. Butler had himself a great game, but LeBron just dominated him in the final 3 seconds. LeBron apparently loves to come up clutch when there are only a few seconds left on the clock. When he was on the Cavaliers, he came up ready to play a variety of times in the postseason. During a heated playoff series with the Orlando Magic, Cleveland found themselves down by 2 points with a second or 2 left in regulation. This was a game that they absolutely could not lose, or the series was essentially over. Orlando won the first game on the road and were on the verge of icing this one as well, giving them a 2-0 lead with the series shifting to Orlando. However, James didn't want it to end that way. He ran around the 3-point arc and fired the ball the second he caught the inbounds pass. It launched up and went straight in as the clock hit 0. This wasn't just a game-winning shot, it was a series-saving shot. Speaking of a series-saving shot, here's a shot that ended a series. The Cavaliers were going up against the Toronto Raptors in the Eastern Conference playoffs, a matchup that has historically not been very good for the Raptors, Kyle Lowry and DeMar DeRozan. Cleveland won the first 2 games of this series on the road and were locked in a tie game against Toronto during Game 3. It's pretty simple. If the Raptors win this close game at home, heading into Game 4 of the series would essentially be over. With just a few seconds left on the clock, LeBron sprinted down the floor with OG Anunoby right next to his hip. As he got to the left side of the painted area, he lifted up into the air and tossed a one-handed floater over the outstretched arms of Anunoby and bounced high off the glass to sink the Raptors at the buzzer. Toronto probably sees this game-winning shot every time that they close their eyes. Ooh, and the game after saw the Cavaliers just blow the doors off Toronto in Game 4. Unfortunately, Cleveland couldn't blow the doors off of the Warriors in this NBA Finals series. This series wasn't the 3-1 comeback that they were able to pull off against the Warriors back in 2016. This was the series that included the J.R. Smith blunder in the opening game. This play happens during Game 3 of the series, with the Warriors winning both of their home games. Cleveland started out well, but LeBron was simply sick of his teammates at this point in time. He knew that they were the far less talented squad, and you know what? Sometimes the best way to get the job done is to do it yourself. LeBron took that literally on this play when he stopped in front of JaVale McGee, leaning into a high arcing shot that bounced off the top of the glass, and he zoomed in to catch his own rebound and dunk it himself. Having teammates certainly help though, especially when you're delivering passes like this one. The King has thrown quite a lot of passes over the years that make you say wow out loud. This one in particular really takes the cake for the most unforgettable. The Cavaliers were taking on the Los Angeles Lakers, and they were down by 5 points with a minute left in the first half. He looked to Kyle Korver to his left and faked a pass to him while palming the basketball with his right hand. The pass was so convincing that everybody on the Lakers kind of shifted a little more to the right. Before they could readjust, LeBron used the same hand to flick the ball back to Ante Zizic on the baseline without even looking at him. After he dished out this beautiful feed, he simply just turned around and didn't even pay attention to Zizic, just slamming it down with nobody near him at the rim. I don't think I've ever seen something like this out of anybody else. That's a line that you just come to say pretty often when talking about LeBron James. I mean, this next play has the King literally jumping over another player at the rim. Yes, you heard that correctly. The Miami Heat were taking on the Chicago Bulls, and it was very early on in the game. That means that the Heat had some plays they wanted to utilize straight out of the gates, and boy did they make an opening statement. Miami remained patient on this possession while LeBron worked around the edge of the perimeter before cutting in hard at the baseline. He lifted off the ground and got fully over the head of his defender as an alley-oop was thrown his way. Unsurprisingly, James caught the pass and slammed it down hard to get the crowd in Miami back up on their feet. Not only that, but it looked like James even stared down the guy he jumped over after the play, though he also could have been eyeing a fan in the stands who might have been letting some trash talk fly. Regardless, you don't often see a guy as tall as James jumping over another basketball player like this. With that play, we officially come to an end on the most unforgettable plays of LeBron James's career up to this point. I'm sure there are many more left to come as well during these upcoming few years. Make sure to take a moment and ring that notification bell and smash that subscribe button so that you'll never miss out on another one of our videos. Thank you all so much for watching as well, and be sure to leave us a comment down below if you remember any of these legendary plays from the King.